sunshine this morning, so what a wonderful way to begin Monday morning.
Well, and I know some people are going to say, oh, she did not. But she did. She got up this morning and she was so excited. And she's a junior in high school, but she's still so it's a first day of school,
Yes,
you know.
exactly.
And she wants to go buy all of her highlighters. And, well, I don't know where she would have got sticky notes and highlighters from. It could be from her mama. I've got them everywhere. But, it's just kind of an exciting thing for kids when the first day of school, they get to get some new shoes a lot of times, and that's when you get all spiffed up from being dirty all summer, and you get to go see your buddies.
Yes, exactly right. First day back, first day, even virtually, is going to be exciting. So,
well, they still get to see each other.
Yes, they do.
Which is, I think, kind of neat. And at least if they're going to be having to stay at home and do some things, at least they can see each other. And I think those kids have been so resilient over the summer. Well, I guess ever since March. And I know that I've been trying to be a good patient mama, because I know that they're going to be on the phone more than they normally do, but they need to be a little bit. They need to be that connection. And so I've tried to be patient with them. I really have, but I'm not great at online stuff. So I think that I've learned a lot from my kids over the last few months. And I know one of the things, tell everybody, Miss Paulette, what organization you're affiliated with.
I'm affiliated with the Community Disciples Incorporated. We've been established since 2004, June of 2004, in Caldwell County, with our mission of serving the youth, elderly, and anyone who may be in need in the community.
I'll tell you, this is a fantastic group, and I know a couple of kids that are involved in it personally, and I will tell you, I'm not going to mention his name because I think he thinks I'm picking on him at this point, but he is the sweetest kid and just always goes out of his way to help somebody. And I've seen him do anything from opening doors to carrying boxes to people that he just didn't even have to. And I think it has a lot to do with your Disciples program.
Well, he is, I know exactly who you're talking about. I was actually going to speak about him a little today, because as soon as we mentioned tutoring, he's the first person who texted it, said, I want to be a part of it and I want to be there to help serve. So, Taquan Bumpus.
I started to say, we don't even have to say his name, then we know who each other's talking about.
Exactly. He has really taken the service to heart, and any way he can. He's a leader, outstanding leader, and just does whatever he can to help anybody in the community. And anytime we have an event, he's the first one in line ready to go.
Well,
ready to lead, actually.
Taquan, I just love you, kid. But I've seen online even, and I'm really going to tattle on him now, on social media I've noticed that he tries to be positive, and he tries to find a positive silver lining to things, and I can see him doing that. And it's, if somebody's fussing about politics, he's the first one to say, oh, no, wait, we don't need to fuss about this. And he's a great kid.
Yes,
and I think that he's learned a lot. And I think Farmers Bank is really going to, Tiffany, oh, girl, you're going to have fun with Taquan. That's one of those things that I think is contagious, and that's a good kind of contagious.
Exactly. His spirit is just amazing, and he is energetic and just who he wants to do, and he wants to serve. So we're really proud of him. His mom does a great job, and just really proud of Taquan.
Well, my grandma used to say idle hands are the devil's playground.
Right.
Is there something to that?
Well,
now, you've been an educator for
I'm
how
just
many
going to tell you,
years?
yes, exactly right. There is a little something to that. So you have to find ways to stay active and to stay creatively active, too, in a positive way. So just really excited about what we've got coming up with tutoring, and just looking forward to helping any way we can.
Well, that's another reason why I had her in this morning, because this is something that I think, my kids could really benefit from. Because I'm going to tell you, I'm the most horrible tutor in the whole wide world. I really am, because I don't think I realized how behind the times I was as far as just the methodology of a lot of things.
Right.
I think a lot of the adults laugh now about Common Core and about mathematics and stuff. We in history, I guess we're still doing good because those dates didn't change, right?
Exactly.
But with some things, there is some updating that happens in the way and the methods they do.
Exactly right, and just the delivery now, knowing that we are starting virtually, just getting used to the platforms that the teachers are using in the district, and just being able to access that information. It is different, so that's one of the things that we are excited about. Marie Gray has spearheaded our tutoring program for years.
What a sweetheart, by the way.
Yes, she is. She really is, and she and Lisa Moore have been doing tutoring and leading our tutoring program for several years since we started. In the past, we would always serve our primary and elementary students at the primary school after school, but because we are virtual now, we're going to try to do some tutoring at the Mary Jane Jones Community Center, and Marie has got that program ready to go and hoping to start on Thursday with our primary elementary students, and maybe then next Monday, after our middle school students have had their open house and things that they're doing, being able to start with some of those. And of course, numbers are so limited because we have to maintain our social distancing and do everything we can to keep all of our students and our tutors safe. But we're excited about it, being able to still serve in some capacity.
I think Miss Mary Jane would be awful happy
I
about
think
that.
she'd be very proud about what's going on in the center and in her house. Exactly.
I think you'd get a big smile
Yes,
out of that.
I bet so.
Because that's one thing that, and it's, by the way, don't be ashamed. If you need a little help,
Right.
tutoring, that doesn't mean that you don't know how to do things. That just means that you need a little help.
Exactly right. And knowing that in March, when we had to close school and we had to do the virtual instruction, we know that there were students who might have struggled just a little anyway. And then over the summer slide that teachers often talk about occurs. And so we know that that the gap is continually it's widening if we don't step in and help too. So not only do students have to know their current grade level content, they have to learn that, but they have to make up any gaps that we've had too. So we're just really excited, and we know we're not taking the place of any teacher. We just want to step in and help.
Well,
that's what we want to do.
I'll tell you, if I know that everybody's, not everybody, but at one point in their life, I think that the kids struggle. My son is one of them, and he has such an ego about it. He doesn't want to let anybody know that he doesn't know how, so he doesn't ask. And then he gets home and he's like, well, I don't know how to do it because, I was too shy to ask. And I'm like, please ask that question. And if I could urge anything of parents this morning and kids, ask that question and push him a little bit, because I'm bad about, I don't want to embarrass him if he doesn't know. And I'm bad about that. I need to push more. And as a mom, that's what we're going to be expected to do over the next, however
Exactly.
long this NTI thing is going to go.
Exactly. There's no question that's not important, and there's no shame in asking. There are things that come up that you might be strong in one area, but there might be something that could stump you. So that's why it's really important to be able to ask the questions and to ask for that extra support. And I know our teachers are going to be willing to do whatever they can to help too along the way. So there's no question. Please tell him there's no question that's not important to ask, and to never be ashamed to ask.
The teachers are going to have their hands full too, so that's another reason why I think this tutoring is so good, because they could probably use a little extra instructional for other kids that maybe, they've got their hands full.
Right,
so
exactly.
I think that's amazing. Tell people, how do they get a hold of you if they need the help?
Right now, of course, we've got a waiting list already. We started with our students who we were already in the program back in March. So if you're interested and you think it might be something that would be beneficial for your child, you can call 270-365-3467. If we're not there, you can just leave a message and we will take your name and information. And, in talking with Marie, she's really adamant about if you sign up, we want you to commit to it. So if slots begin to open, we certainly will start on the top of that list and contact. So just looking forward to helping and to serving in any way that we can.
Well, I know the other way is, and I know technically, I guess it's not called tutoring, but I think there's a such thing as an emotional tutoring too.
Right, exactly.
And the folks at the Disciples, I'm telling you, they are fantastic. If we have a kid that says, you know what, I think Johnny needs something to focus on. I think he needs. Can we do that as well? Is that something that,
sure.
that we can turn to you all for?
Fine. And we have contacts too. So if we can't help, we certainly can reach out and find organizations or agencies that can provide that service. So please, if any need out there, please let us know.
I love that they're called community disciples, because
Right.
I think that's what you are. I really do. And kids like Taekwondo and into the older kids or even the younger kids. I think
Right.
that can be so helpful because that's any age, right?
Exactly, any age. We actually start with our middle school students. Blossoms are our younger girls. We try to do that with Miss Angela Blair. But just thinking, I was thinking of our scholarship recipient this year, Dale Lynn Murphy. We were able to provide a $500 scholarship for Dale Lynn, who's going off to college. And then I was thinking that we have Jada Boyd was one of our Community Disciples youth members
Love
since
her.
6th grade. She's attending Brescia. Really excited for her. And then we have 2 members who actually started in 6th grade who are now seniors, one at the University of Kentucky, Kia Walker, and one at the University of Louisville, Quasia Wimaduff. So we've watched these girls from the time that they started at 6, well, actually even in Blossoms, younger, and now they're getting ready to graduate college at the end of the school year. So just really excited about being able to give back to our kids in the community any way that we can. And we were so disappointed that we weren't able to do our back to school Stuff the Bus, but we wanted to do something for the Hope and Cope Center, so we're going to kind of support them a little this year too. But just excited for the start of a new school year. New school year opens up new opportunities, and just looking forward to our students excelling and succeeding.
You talk about alumni. Now that was a nice list.
Well, yeah, exactly.
And I love that the name is Blossoms.
Right, Blossoms, exactly.
That's such a cute thing. I love that.
Yes.
But it's got a lot of meaning behind
Yes,
it, too.
it sure does. It sure does.
I love it when she comes in. Miss Paulette, Community Disciples, give them your information as far as how to get a hold of somebody.
Okay, if you want to contact us, you can just call 270-365-3467. If we're not there, just leave us a message, and then we'll try to get back with you as soon as we can.
I'm telling you, it wouldn't be a first day of school without Paulette Gray.
Thank
it
you
just
for
would
having
not.
me.
In one way or another, we want to make sure that. Just expect my call again next year. First day of school, we need a little Miss Gray. I'm telling you. I said my kids when they were in primary school, of course, they saw a lot of Miss Paulette, and I'll tell you that was the one thing that always could put a smile on those kids. And we appreciate it.
And it put a smile on my face too.
Well,
So,
and that's the thing is they always got to see a smile on your face too. And it was hey, how was your summer? It's so good to see you. And I think you're continuing that over at Disciples, and I think that's amazing.
Well, thank you.
So thank you so much for being here. Of course, we're going to change gears just a little bit, but Miss Gray, she knows all about these kind of things too. Todd Griffin's in the house, and we're going to be talking about sports, and of course, Mr. Gray knows a little bit about that. So we're going to have Todd on because we're going to have a huge announcement coming up in just a few minutes about something that is so cool that you're not going to want to miss. So stick around. It's Coffee Talk, 1580 103.3 WPKY. 1580 103.3 WPKY, and I'm joined by the myth, the legend. It's Todd Griffin.
Good morning.
I'll tell you, he didn't say no. That was fantastic. First of all, well, we've got a huge announcement to make that I am so excited about and stoked. But this is not the announcement that I need to make. It's a Todd Griffin kind of announcement.
Well, coming up next Wednesday, all day long, it's going to be Tiger Day here at WPKY.
I'm so excited. I've got all my jerseys out. I'm ready to rock and roll.
From 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. next Wednesday, the 2nd of September, this is going to be a major fundraiser for the Caldwell County High School Athletics Department. All schools are going to have some difficulties coming up this year, I believe, because of the COVID-19 crisis. If we get to play fall sports, it's probably going to be some kind of situation where there's reduced fans and attendance. And, of course, especially with a sport like football where you can get, maybe 2,000 people out at Tiger Stadium on a Friday night, that's a big fundraiser for the high school athletic department, not just the football team, but the entire athletic department.
Well,
and when that goes away, if you have 2,000 people at a football game, and just to make the math easier, let's say they're all paying $5 a piece, well, that's a $10,000 gate. Now, not everybody pays. Some people have, a pass, and not everybody pays, but sometimes you get 2,500. I think we've had probably over 3,000 for playoff games before. No other sport can really draw that way. You can't get that many people inside a gym or anything, so that money is used not just, again, for the football program, but to sustain all the athletic programs at Caldwell County High School. And like I said, every school is going to take a hit this year because, one, we don't know yet whether we're going to actually have football, soccer, volleyball, and those sports, or even basketball at this point. And if we do, like I say, there's probably going to be some numbers, some restrictions on attendance numbers.
Well, and I know that the other day that everybody was so excited, and I was too. I don't want to say I was. Todd was watching as because we were sitting on top of that meeting like, just we couldn't tear ourselves away and listening to every single vote. However, we've got to understand that this has got to go through the governors and the health department. So.
Well, the governor still has to sign off on it. The KHSAA voted to get back to sports, with the September 7th date for volleyball and soccer and September 11th to start football games, but it's still not a go yet until the governor says it's a go. But again, next Wednesday, the 2nd of September, it's going to be Tiger Day right here at WPKY. We'll be talking to coaches, players, fans. We'll be trying to raise money for the Caldwell County Athletic Department. There will be opportunities online on our Big Deal store, on our website for people to donate. So we're hoping that the community will, show up once again and kind of help out the Caldwell County Athletic Department.
Well, and here's another thing, too. Not only the gate are they losing, but, that hits concessions, too. And a lot of, at a football game, maybe the Band of Pride gets some concession money. Well, if the concessions aren't there, then, or if it's greatly depleted, now not only are you losing money at the gate, now you're losing money for concessions, which is one of their biggest fundraisers all year.
Well, and let's hope that this all gets worked out at some point. You don't want to make light of the situation with the COVID-19 pandemic, but at some point you have to get back to some sort of normalcy. There has to be a way where we can play ball and still be socially distant and wear a mask and do some things so that we can get back to action. There have been some studies done that say you can't really pass the virus in a sports setting, as far as playing. So, hopefully some of those things will have some weight, and nobody wants anybody to get sick or have any kind of illness. But at the same time, I personally know kids who have stayed in school because they were on the football team, because they were on the basketball team. We need to make sure we keep those kids involved somehow. And if sports is how we have to do it for some kids, then we need to figure out a way to make that work.
Well, and even their grades, they keep their grades up so they can make sure that they don't ride the bench and they get to play. My son's guilty of that. I'll tell you right now, if it wasn't for football, there's times when he would not care as much about his homework and things. And I think that in a lot of ways, a lot of us feel in Caldwell, man, sports means something in this county. It just always has. And I don't think that means just football. Don't get me wrong. I was a Lady Tiger basketball player and softball player. And, our baseball team is always way up there. So this can mean a lot. And this is for sports across the board. Volleyball, the whole thing.
Yeah, I think it really hurt Friday night when you're thinking to yourself, we should have had a football game Friday night, and we didn't. And it's just kind of tough when you're in that kind of mindset. I'm the sports guy anyway, so you kind of get in that mindset that, hey, we're supposed to be playing soccer and volleyball and football and all these things. And right now, again, we hope to do that at some point this fall, but it's not a given that we will get any of those things.
Well, I'll tell you, I was talking about that earlier today in the morning show that, it was popping up on my social media about the memories or whatever, how you get the memories on there. And over the last weekend, I bet I had like 6 of them on there. It was all at football games. And one of them was video in a high school game, and one of them was the middle school game, and, junior pro from a couple of years ago. And I was like, right now, no wonder I'm craving it so bad. It's time to play football.
Well, and Friday night, that would have been the best weather for a season opener that
Fantastic.
I could remember.
Yes.
It was a little cool, maybe just a touch muggy, but hey, for August, it was fantastic. That would have been a great night to have had a football game someplace.
Well, and I know that all of the kids right now, everything is turned upside down, and we want them to know how much we love them and we care for them. And I'll tell you, Miss Beth has been a big, huge supporter. Miss Beth Mann has in Caldwell County and sports in general. And we're blessed for that.
But that's Tiger Day. Again, it's coming next Wednesday, and we'll be on the air all day and anyone who wants to take part in that, just get a hold of us and we'll get you on the air. If you want to talk about sports, what they mean to you, what they mean to the community, all those things, just let us know and we'd be glad to get you in.
Now, if you're in that's your glory days, if that's what you want to talk about, come on. If you want to talk about Coach Freilich and all the stairs he used to make us run, come on, Pepper. Let's we can talk about it. And that's what that day is for. It's just to kind of remember what it is to be a Tiger and to support these kids and support athletics, having the money to go ahead and go forward with them in the next year.
And that Tiger Day will also wrap around a little bit to the next Thursday morning because the sideline report will be on the next morning at 8 o'clock. So we'll be talking about Tiger Day and hopefully have some totals for everybody at that time, too.
I think that'll be fantastic. And then we've got something else coming up that Todd's going to tell us about because, it's not only Caldwell County season, it's UK season.
Yeah, I just announced this morning, so this is fresh.
Hey, I like that.
Veteran sports reporter Larry Vaught is joining the Edge Media Group family, so we welcome Larry on board. Larry's been a contributor to YourSportsEdge.com for a while now with a lot of content from the University of Kentucky. Many of you may have read Vaught's views on Larry's website. Well, now you'll be able to access Vaught's views through our website.
Now, how cool is that?
So excited about that. A ton of UK coverage. Larry Vaught's been named like the news person, the sports person in the state for media several times. So we've had him on the sideline report several times. And as a matter of fact, we'll have him on this Thursday. So and also he'll be doing a Vaught's View radio program, which is a lot like the Travel in the Bluegrass with Alan Watts that is on like a ton of stations around the state. Well, Larry Vaught's going to do the same thing. So you'll be hearing Larry on a radio somewhere near you in the near future. How
cool is that? And of course, a bajillion years ago when Todd and I were at WPKY back in the old days, I can still remember the tagline on the UK Basketball Network and all of that kind of stuff for the ball games. And you're talking about a guy that has been there, done that, got the T-shirt.
Oh, yeah. I think his first show on the radio is scheduled to air September 1st. And again, he will be on the sideline report with us on this Thursday. Also, Caldwell County girls soccer coach Rhett Miller is scheduled to be with us. So not done putting things together for this Thursday just yet, but shaping up to be a big show again.
I'm excited. Technically, I guess we're going to kick it off that next Wednesday. We're going to have some folks on Coffee Talk that day. I know we're going to have some giveaways. Stay tuned because I've got 2 giveaways that are really, really cool that a lot of people are going to want to get a hold of. Those are some that you can't find just anywhere, but you're going to be able to find them here. So I think that's cool. I bet Todd will have his book around too.
Probably, yeah.
You'd sign a book or 2, right?
Yeah, I'll do that.
See, there you go. And you're a Hall of Famer yourself. So what does Tiger Day mean for you?
Well, that's everything. I mean, a chance to help the school out. Again, I look around the country and you see some of the colleges that are struggling, and several colleges have already announced they're dropping athletic programs, and that's just one more opportunity for somebody to go to school. And I know that athletics isn't everybody's cup of tea, and that's fine, but there are some people that kind of need that. They need that to be in school. They need that to open some doors for them, and certainly all of us. I mean, it's just a big deal to go out to the Tiger Stadium on a Friday night. I mean, you wait all year for it, and you get those 6, 7, hopefully 8 home games, and you just it's a big deal. It's big for the community. Football goes back to the early 1900s. We've been doing it for over 100 years. It predates all of us. So
how
it's
many
pretty
years
big
in
deal.
succession has Caldwell had football, and this is like the first year that it's been
there was no team in the 1918 season because of the Spanish flu epidemic.
Oh, wow.
So
what are the odds?
To the best we can determine, the first high school football games here at Princeton High School were played in 1911. So there you go. I mean, every year except for 1918, we've had some football. So that's that's 100 straight years, and again, fingers crossed that we get to play this year.
I'm going to tell you what, not many people have got the amount of how do you say that, games in succession as Todd Griffin.
Yeah. Oh,
I
don't even know the number now.
I forgot it, but I'll have to look it up, because every football season I'll pull it up and I start taking tabs on Todd, and because I think it's like way up there.
It's every game back to the last game of the 1986 season. Because that was
remarkable.
My senior year in high school. I graduated in 87, so it had been the 86 football season. So it goes all the way back to that last game of that season. It's 300 and something games.
Oh, it's a crazy amount of games, I will say.
But Philip and Pam Phelps have me beat by 9 games. And Gary Goodacre has a long streak going. He's over 200 now. So
well, and that's what I love about it. It's almost like a little competitive now, which is why I keep the tallies. I think it's so much fun. What was your favorite football game ever?
Oh, wow, that's tough. The Christian County game last year was so special. I mean, that was probably the most magical night ever at Tiger Stadium. Coach Barnes had passed away just 6 days earlier, and you never know what's going to happen. And everybody's feeling down. It was a difficult week for a whole lot of people, but everybody kind of came together at that football stadium, and it seemed like the Tigers were just destined somehow to win that night. We talked with the football coaches last week, and if you go back and look at the stats of that game, you'd think Christian County won it by at least a couple of touchdowns, but you look at the score, and the Tigers returned a kickoff for a touchdown, returned a punt for a touchdown, and somehow pulled that game out, and you feel like Coach Barnes was there helping, and would have been really proud of the effort that night.
I'm going to tell you what, you could feel it in the air that night. There was a energy that you don't normally feel. His spirit was there. You could just tell the whole stadium, on both sides of the field, by the way. And I will say on the visitor side too. And I think that the kids have really kept his memory alive over the last year, and that's volleyball, softball, everything. There's Barnes Strong. And that is something that has just become a Caldwell County motto.
Well, and when you would go to a basketball game or volleyball game at the Cab, a lot of times he would be there. So
I think that's fantastic. So thank you for coming in. And again, tell us again what we're looking at, Tiger Day.
We got Tiger Day. It's next Wednesday, September 2nd, all day long right here on WPKY. It's a big fundraiser for the Caldwell County High School Athletic Department. We encourage anyone, coaches, administrators, fans, business owners. You can come by the studio and visit with us. You don't even have to tell us you're coming. Just show up and we'll get you on the air and talk to you about what Tiger sports mean to you. And also Larry Vaught joining the Edge Media Group family. Be looking for Larry's stuff on yoursportsedge.com and on all of our websites, WPKY, WKDZ, everything. So that's a really big deal to get Larry and Vaught's views coming to our radio near you as well. So you're going to get a heavy dose of Larry Vaught and UK sports.
I'm excited. Thank you for coming in today.
Absolutely. I would like to, one more thing on the football, though.
Yeah.
Probably the 98 state championship game is my favorite game as far as just, looking at the outcome and all those things. I always remember that night going to Louisville, and the Tigers, I think, were about 25-point underdogs that night, and everybody was there to watch Danville get another state championship trophy. And guess what? It came home to Princeton. So
I think that's it's
38
those
to
games.
28. I still remember that. Still remember being on the sideline on the old artificial turf at old Cardinal Stadium in Louisville. The old stuff, the thin green carpet on the concrete that made your knees hurt for days afterward. And but it was all fun. It was a big trip and a big night, and just remember that feeling when the Tigers, the clock had finally ticked off and the Tigers had claimed that state championship. So
something about being an underdog, though.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
The 1963 state championship was before me, so I don't have any memories of that, but I definitely remember the 98 game.
I think that's amazing. And, of course, if you don't know, Todd has written a book, literally written the book on Caldwell County football. And is that it's still available? Because I'll tell you, my son, I bought it as a Christmas present because I think it's just something that he loves. And if you've got somebody in your family that doesn't have one, they will get a kick out of that.
Yeah, I've still got a few copies available, and like I said, we'll probably bring in a few next week when we have Tiger Day. And if anybody wants to purchase one, we'll be here, and I'd be glad to autograph it and let you take home a Tiger football book. Of course, I always like to say that we have a records book in the back of the book, and I can't remember exactly. See, what year was it? Was it 2011, 12 when that came out? 2011, I think. Well, that was right before Elijah Sindelar and Jalen Boyd and those guys, and they just completely wiped out the record book. So that thing needs to be updated just a little bit, but everything else in the book is, if you're a Tiger fan, it's a great read.
It really is. And I told him before, I said, now we need a part 2 and a basket. I said, just get busy.
Just got to find the time.
Well, it doesn't look like you're going to have some extra time anytime soon. We appreciate you coming in this morning.
We need fall sports to get going, from the community standpoint, from the player standpoint, coaches, school, radio station, yoursportsedge.com, everybody. We need for all those fall sports, although we have enjoyed covering golf the last few months.
How about that Emma?
Yeah.
Man, what a lady. I'm telling you, it's nice to have that kind of female that your girls can look up to.
Oh, yeah, she's awesome and playing really well right now, too. So, and interesting from the Women's Open over in Scotland over the weekend, Emma made a little over $8,200, which was a nice week for her. Sophia Popov, though, won it. Cinderella Story from out of nowhere, if I can quote Caddyshack, and picked up the win. And not only that, but had a blue ribbon on her cap for Cullen Brown. Her caddy and boyfriend is Max Malis, who used to play at the University of Kentucky and actually was on the team with Cullen when Cullen was up there. So that kind of shows you what a small world it is and how everything comes together sometime, that there she was on TV accepting, the big trophy for winning what used to be the British Open over in Scotland at Royal Troon, and there she's got the blue ribbon on her cap. So that was a pretty interesting moment too.
Kentucky's been on the map now. In one form or fashion. We're tearing it up in a lot of different sports.
Yeah.
So that's, again, Tiger Day, that's what it's all about, it is the Emma Tallies, because, that's where she started, was at Caldwell County High School. It is a lot of the Cullen Browns and a lot of the Cindelars and the success stories. They had to start at high school.
Yeah.
And if that money is not there, the program is not going to be there, period.
Again, we're going to try to raise money, though, for the program. Going to be a major fundraising effort by the entire Edge Media crew. So
I'm excited.
Everybody be sure and check that out next Wednesday.
It's a day dedicated to sports. That's what I love. That and I bleed blue and gold, so I can't help myself. Come on out and see us and support us. Don't forget, tomorrow we're going to talk to David Powell on Coffee Talk. He's going to talk about these storms that are rocking our world at the moment. I'm just now hearing about the doom and gloom, evidently, that's coming toward the U.S. So he's going to tell us all about the tropical storms and all of that good stuff, or bad stuff, however it is. And he's also going to give us the fall-winter preview and kind of give us a heads up to what to expect this winter. So, Todd, that might have an effect on football as well. So,
well, I always love those winter outlooks. I liked last winter because it was kind of mild. We didn't see a whole lot of snow or ice or anything. So I kind of enjoyed those. As somebody who goes to a lot of ball games during the week,
I know, but
I kind of like the nice travel conditions.
And from what I've heard, that's not what he's forecasting for this winter.
Sorry. They didn't forecast that last winter either. So
well, that's true. So we're hoping that he's wrong, but he's gonna be here tomorrow. But it's gonna be David Powell with us on the show tomorrow, so don't miss Coffee Talk. And then on Sideline Report on Thursday, who you got?
Got Larry Vaught. He'll be talking to us about UK sports as always, and Caldwell County Lady Tigers soccer coach Rhett Miller will be on the show with us. So be sure to tune in Thursday for the Sideline Report right here on 1580 103.3.